Did you know you can count from 1 to 100 without ever using the letters A, B, or C? So you may wonder, when do we use A, B, and C? In fact, how high do we need to count in order to use every letter of the alphabet? Well, let's find out. Let's start from 0 and work our way up. 0 has an E, an O, and an O, which are pretty common letters. It also has a Z in it, and it's actually the only number to have a Z in its name. So Z is the first letter of the first number, and we'll never see it again. Next we have 1, which gives us an N, 2 gives us a T and a W, and 3 gives us an H. 4 gives us our first F and U. 5 has another F, but it has our first I and B. 6 is the first number to have an S and X. Gosh, we're knocking out a lot of letters here, aren't we? However, 7 actually does not have any new letters in it. 8 has a G, but 9 and 10 don't give us anything new. Next is 11, which has an L. But now things get a little more interesting. We don't see a new letter until 20, which has our first Y. But now the names of numbers are formulaic, as they are just looping through names we've already seen. Essentially, now we need to jump orders of magnitude to see anything new. Next is 100, which marks our first D. Now if we include AND in 101, we have an A, but AND doesn't really hold any numerical significance because we can say 101 without it. So we really don't see A until 1000. And that leaves us with only 7 letters left. Our next stop is 1,000,000, which has an M in it. So as a recap, you could watch Mr. Beast count to 1,000,000 and he would never use the letters B, C, J, K, P, or Q, and only use M at the very end. Also, if he starts at 1, which he probably did, he would never have used Z either. So after that, you'd have to do that 1,000 times to reach 1,000,000,000, which is our first number to have a B. Recall that essentially every number name at this point is constructed out of names we've already seen before. This is because of positional notation, which is how most modern counting systems work. Instead of creating a new name for every number, we build new numbers using a base set arranged in succession. So we don't have to create any new names until we go up a multiple of 1,000. So 1,000,000,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000,000,000, and 1,000,000,000,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000,000,000, which is where we finally find Q. In fact, Q comes up pretty frequently in the names of large numbers. We see it again in our next number, 1,000,000,000,000. Next is 1,000,000,000,000 and then 1,000,000,000,000. Eureka! We found P. And all it took was a number with 24 zeros. But wait, next is 1,000,000,000,000, where we finally have a C. We've counted incomprehensibly high at this point, and all we have left are J and K. And we have a problem. Turns out the names of large numbers are also constructed in a pattern. You may have noticed these prefixes for these alien names are reminiscent of numerical prefixes. This is because they are. Bi means 2, so billion is like saying 2,000,000,000. Trillion is like 3,000,000,000, and quadrillion is like 4,000,000,000, and so on. This continues all the way to 999,000,000,000, which is pronounced novem-nonagenontillion, or something like that. After that, we just add another illion to the name and start over. Essentially, we have counted so high that we are back to where we started. The names of numbers are just exponentially increasing loops, consisting of the same words and prefixes. And it turns out that none of such words or prefixes have a J or a K. Therefore, you could count forever without needing them. That is, unless you count beyond the cardinal numbers.